one of the reasons that I decided to start a spin-off channel called Gregarious Drivers of Greensboro, North Carolina, was obviously because I want to do dash camming as a new hobby. But also, I really want to drive traffic over to my sister channel, a channel that I've had since February of 2014, nearly 5 years now. And it's a channel called The Conservative Pelican. And most of the videos on this channel are spoken word commentary videos of me talking. Doesn't really sound that exciting, but I'm here to tell you that there's a lot of subject matter on there. I really get deep into subjects. Most of the videos are politics, but first let me tell you how I started the channel. Back in February 2014, I got a new computer for the first time in like 10 years. Finally decided to get a new computer. Got a HP Chromebook computer, and on that computer I realized that, hey, I have a dash cam, I have a microphone, I can actually do YouTube videos. And I was like, something neat, and I was thinking, someday maybe I could be a talk radio host or something. So I started doing videos. The very first videos I did was one on the Wilmington parks, because I was living in Wilmington, North Carolina at the time, talking about how the government spends way too much money on parks, and then one about the Wrightsville Beach parking issues and how it's a mess down there, traffic, and they got the drawbridge going up every hour. And then I started doing because I was then and still am now an active Republican, did one covering some events at the district GOP convention as well as the North Carolina State GOP convention that year. And a seed was planted then that, hey, I really like going to political conventions. I really like talking, doing YouTube videos. This is something that could really grow. At the time, I really didn't think much of it because I moved to Florida for a while. But a few months after I moved to the Orlando area, I was like, I'm still really into North Carolina politics, and I still want to do still did commentary videos on that as well as national politics. And then I decided to branch out a little bit more and do a section of the channel called Life Reflections. This is more personal videos that are not away from politics and stuff. The first one I did was a really big hit. It has over 6,000 views, which is the highest. Still the highest to date. I did it like 2 years ago. The pros and cons of living in Florida versus living in North Carolina. Then I did one on Toys R Us was going out of business, so I talked about my childhood. I'm 32, so my generation, millennial generation, was like the last generation who really embraced Toys R Us. And then I even did a personal memoir where I sit down, I talk for an hour and 20 minutes about how my life in North Carolina was so much better than it is in Florida. And now, currently, I'm back in North Carolina and I'm doing great, I'll tell you. I did some videos one video about relocating, some strategy with that. I do the top 10 reasons not to live in Florida, and then 10 reasons why you should move to North Carolina. And then I talk about my 7 years as a pizza delivery driver. That one's like 45 minutes long. That's a good one. Also, how and why I became a Republican. That one's pretty fascinating too, and that's an hour long, so you definitely want to grab the chips and salsa for that one. And then there's one about the current state of the Orioles that I did last summer, and then one I did about 6 weeks ago on the game show. I'm a huge game show fanatic. And maybe that's something I can expand on this channel. But I did a video about Nickelodeon's Double Dare. And then I have a couple series on that channel. One's called College for 30-somethings, where I talk about the class I'm currently taking and, how I'm doing, what that course is about, what you need to do to succeed. That series is going to be on hiatus right now because I'm busy. The company I work for is going to a new tuition reimbursement plan. But I hope to transfer to that. January might be pushing it, but I'm hoping for next summer to get back and start taking college courses again and doing that. Another one I have is Retail Rapids, and that's a series all about work, my job, being in cashier, being in customer service rep, and all about the good, the bad, the ugly of that particular job. And then one area that I've expanded on is obviously for the last 5 months I've lived in Greensboro, North Carolina, so I have a whole section of the GOP events I've gone to, discussing those, the candidate forums, the community planning initiative, as well as the how Greensboro is targeting millennials. In other words, what can Greensboro do to keep college students here after they graduate? Instead of going to Raleigh or Charlotte for a job, how can they succeed in Greensboro with the job? And I even do a review of the Greensboro-opoly game, which is a version of Greensboro Monopoly. And finally, last but not least on that channel, I have a whole section where I discuss winter, because winters in North Carolina are a strange animal, let me tell you. And I have some little short 1-2 minute clips of this past weekend's snowstorm. So there's a lot going on that channel. Check it out, the Conservative Pelican. And definitely hope you enjoy this channel too. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. Alright, well, for Gregarious Drivers, I'm Bobby Crawford. Good night.